I've got a couple of questions for you boys, though. Fictional football here. This one is fictional football. Victor Gyökeres will outscore Erling Haaland in the Premier League next season.
No.
Yeah, I don't think he will either. I'd like to hope that that he can give him a good race, but we are talking about Erling Haaland, who's hit numbers off the charts. Assuming they're all both fully fit into an integrated system, I would always put my money on Erling Haaland. And that's not to say that I think Gyökeres will be millions of miles behind. But if you put my mortgage on it, I'll be putting it on Haaland. Absolutely, yeah.
Can I throw out just a little bit of facts here? By the way, big Haaland fan, always protecting. First season in the Prem, 36 goals. Second season in the Prem, 27 goals. Last season, 22. So his trajectory is going down, right? I'm just putting that out there in terms before anyone answers, including the viewers. He's got less. By the way, even his bad seasons, one of the best in the league. Yeah, it's still brilliant. But a new striker, bit between his teeth, dumped his girlfriend, taken a pay cut. He's hungry. Can anyone see it? I'm just. Anyone see it? Obviously, you don't think it will happen either, LB.
Nah, I think Cherky Haaland gonna cook, bro. I think Cherky's gonna do some mad stuff next year, bro. Mad assists and that.
You think Haaland will be back to his best as well, like goal scoring wise?
Yeah, I've already seen like little bits from the Club World Cup, man, of actually playing through balls to Haaland, which we've not done in the Premier League for time. I actually don't remember the last time we actually done it. We've done about 4 in the Club World Cup already. So yeah, I reckon Haaland 30 Prem goals next year.
Do you know what as well? If assuming obviously both are fully fit and play a large number of games, if Gyökeres was to outscore Erling Haaland, Arsenal would probably be having a pretty half decent season. You'd be expecting if he was to outscore him, he'd be getting 25 goals minimum. Gyökeres, if he was to outscore, we've seen him 22. I know he was injured a little bit last year, but if we was to sort of outscore Erling Haaland with Gyökeres, when you get that sort of level of goals, assuming Saka stays on his trajectory and chips in with things like that, Arsenal would be on line to have a good season. How that ends or translates in, which is obviously trophies, of course, we'll never know. But, if you've got a striker banging in that level of goals, you've got a chance. Absolutely got a chance. Sometimes they're the difference between drawing a game 0-0 and winning it 1-0, Erling Haaland, or taking a game from 1-0 down and coming back. 2 moments of magic. We've seen Haaland do it all the time. Not single-handedly, but Erling Haaland has been a big factor in Manchester City winning trophies after the last 2-3 years. And that's not because he's the best footballer in the world. It's because he's one of the best goal scorers in the world. It's all about making that net ripple, mate.
Facts.
Sorry, send a message. No, I hear you, and I think that's really important. Josh here says, just want to say, Aaron was cooking with these points. I would prefer to take a club over the line than maintain. Yeah, of course you do. The point I'm making is that certain generations haven't experienced that, and I see it with all clubs. When clubs go through bad periods and then they start getting better, people fall in. Like Man United didn't have any player FC ever my whole life. Really, when I was younger, I wouldn't remember. I was too young to remember that, but we moved on so many top players that we loved, and everybody got behind it and went, cool. Disappointed Beckham's gone. Disappointed he's gone. Disappointed he's gone. But let's get behind the club. Now it's like there's people starting agendas on Cunha already because he's got Rashford's number. That's disgusting. Rashford's agent's been looking for a new club for 18 months for him. Why is it disgusting? I don't get it. But they're starting an agenda. That's because Rashford's like almost the peak of excitement some young United fans have ever seen. Yeah, if they were winning league titles and everything else, and we thought we were going to continue in that vein, you wouldn't care as much. Oh, no, that was about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Fair, Josh. I hear you now, my friend. Thank you, Luke, for encouraging everybody to hit that like button. I've got one other question for you. This might trigger you, Aaron. This might trigger you, this one. All right, mate?
We'll see.
Fictional football. Noni Madueke will surprise fans and thrive at Arsenal after his move.
Yeah, fuck off, Tel. Nah. Come on, man. Come on, listen. We're talking about Madueke, yeah, and people will always get this a little bit mixed up. If he was to come, of course I'd want him to do well. But he's just over the last 3 years has got like 13 league goals, man. This ain't no backup to Saka. We've already got that Reece Nelson coming back from loan. What's the point in spending 55 million on Reece Nelson from Chelsea? It's just pointless. Come on, man. Enough of this Madueke stuff. We can't be having the bandana at Arsenal.
I mean, it's reported that they're expecting a bid from you. It's reported they're expecting a bid. So it's one of these things where I think, just like you said about the Dominic Calvert-Lewin thing, I don't want it to happen, but it might. I think you've got to get into that world where he might be wearing the red of Arsenal in a week or two, bruv.
I'm never getting in that world. Mad Wakey can stay exactly where he is. I'm not prepared to get into that world. No more Chelsea rejects, please. We've had like 9 or 10. We don't need a 55 million. We don't need another one. I'm still haunted. I'm still haunted by Peter Cech coming into this football club, let alone Kai Havertz at 65 million. Come on, we can't be having another Mad Wakey coming in at 55. Come on. That'd be a nail in the coffin for me. I'm not gonna lie. That one alert massively.
LB, is there any price he could come in for where it's okay business for Arsenal, in your opinion?
No, because it's not. This is where Arsenal might go wrong. It's because it's not about just having players there for having players their sake. It's about players that can legitimately step in to the first team when Saka's injured or he's suspended and perform. So I look back at the City teams that have won all the trophies. I look back at when we had Mahrez on the bench, Foden on the bench. Yeah, we've had Sane on the bench. I've had these players on the bench. Bernardo Silva, benched. Yeah. You look at the United teams throughout the years, Terry, when United was winning stuff. Look at the players you had on the bench, where if a player got injured and a player stepped in, it was like, sweet, we carry on. What this is doing, this is sending a clear signal to Saka that he is going to be playing right wing no matter what. And if he drops out, Madueke will come in and there will be a massive drop-off. For me, Arsenal need to go and get someone much better than Madueke. Someone that can challenge. You go get Kudus.
Exactly. Same dough, bruv, LB. Same dough.
It's mad, mate. It's crazy how you wouldn't just go and get him over Madueke, mate. It's why I don't know. And I think with Kudus as well, the guy can play in the middle. You know what I mean? So he can share some minutes with Odegaard. You know what I mean? He could probably play down the middle in terms of a striker if you needed to sub off. But basically, right, Madueke is not getting no minutes. He won't get no minutes because he's not going to play anywhere else, bro. Yeah, unless they stick him out on the left, right? So he's not going to play. Kudus can get minutes elsewhere. I think this is an L signing, and people will look at this and they'll go, "Oh, but he's only backup. But he's a bad backup. He's a bad backup. You need a good backup." You try to win this thing with Arsenal, right? This is what the thing is, yeah. It's like they've reached that stage now where the time for talking is over. Yeah, they just got to what Champions League quarter-final, semi-final last year, yeah? They finished second 3 years in a row. They're trying to win the Prem, they're trying to win the Champions League, and signing players like Madueke, for me, ain't the one that's going to do it. They need to be signing top-quality players, mate. I think Kudus will be a great signing.
100%, mate. Do you know what as well, to agree with you there as well, signing Gyökeres one step forward, Madueke for 55 million, another step back. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't fill you with confidence because just when Arsenal, you sit there as a fan and think, wow, we're actually looking at proper players now. And then you see Madueke 55 million and you're just dragged straight back down to planet Earth. Do you know what I mean? If Kudus is available for the same dough, absolute no-brainer for me. That then is when you're looking at Arsenal Football Club and going, okay, they're buying Kudus as a backup. Okay, maybe they are serious. Madueke is a backup. No one cares. Because he's crap. He's not good enough. It's as simple as that. If he was good enough, Chelsea wouldn't be selling him. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think the money you're talking about as well. I don't personally think a cheap deal is the worst thing in the world for a backup, but I also understand the biggest thing for me is that Chelsea have got to raise 60 odd million through sales. There's an element of, is there not another backup you could get that doesn't help Chelsea? That's in my mind. And I just think, surely there is another player, 25, 30 million, who's going to be fourth or fifth choice if you land those other targets, right? That doesn't help Chelsea financially. That's the bit where I think I said it with Mason Mount at the time. I didn't want him as a player, but there must have been someone somewhere better, cheaper, that wouldn't have helped Chelsea so much. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you guys should be doing this deal. And that's coming from me, Mr. Pretend Arsenal fan. Do you know what I mean? So Yeah, it's one of them ones. Boys.